Hello, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are going to describe that how to organize codes and efficiently with functions in Python. So organize code efficiently with functions in Python. Functions help organize code, make it reusable and improve efficiency. Let's go step by step. So defining a function with diff. We define a function with diff, which is defining function. It is gotten from a function is created using the diff keyword. Like here, diff, we define a function and give a name into it with two brief cases. So print hello, welcome to Python. Calling the function. When we want to call the function, so we just write the name of that function. Output would be hello, welcome to Python. Using parameters to make functions flexible, mean to enter more things. So example, function with parameters like def, greet, user, and enter here a parameter in two brief cases. Print with formatted string hello and enter here a name in two brief cases, because you just connect those two names. When you after that, when you call this function and give a name in the parameter, so then it will be printed in the terminal in this replace of this name in a formatted string. Calling the function with arguments. Greet user, here we add a name in a parameter over there, like it is looking that name, so replace a name, we call the function and enter the name Ali. So output would be hello Ali. In here, in formatted string, it just added replace of this name into brief cases. In this name, replace of two brief cases. So hello Ali, welcome to Python. Return a value. Return is functions can return data instead of printing it. Example, function that returns a value. So write a function with a number and therefore add two parameters, which is called multi-parameter function. So return a plus b. Without this, it returns to you the value of a plus b. So in this case, when you add the result, in call this function, add number, add 5 and 3, and result stored in the result. The result will return the data into add numbers, and add numbers will return the data into this result. In this case, print statement will print it. So default parameters values. If the user doesn't provide an argument, the default value is used. So in this case, if the user doesn't just give a value, so it without answering it allow the user to use a guess. If you have seen this code in the pre-for tag, I have seen this. In pre-for tag, if you check it, so here over there, if someone just allow you, so in that case, they write to you a guest, a worker, an admin, co-admin, and a worker, a guest. So in the default, this give a value of default if you don't call to that function and don't give the name. So in this case, in here we call a function and give to one time when we call it, we give a name Omar in a parameter, and after that, in the second time when we call it, we don't give any name. In the default, it gives its own name, which it is written in here by default. So storing data efficiently in functions. Functions can return and handle complex data types like lists, dictionaries, and tuples. Returning multiple values, tuple. So in this case, we write a function get student. So in return, we write down two things. One is Ali and the second one is 20. So in this case, we add a name, age is equal to get student. From get student, we get two things. One is the name, one is the age. which the tuple is called, that combine two things in one thing. So in this case, if you print name and age, it will tell you the output Ali, 20 years old. So return a list. Def function. So in this case, you write a function get even numbers. So you add a parameter limit. So in this case, you return a value number. For number, you write a loop number for number in the range of limit. If number is equal into 2, and from 2, if it is equal into 0, so from 2 to 0. So even get even numbers 10, print evens. So in this case, we will just get out from 0 to 2, it will return the value, and in this case, so it return the value by stepping two numbers. So returning a dictionary. If you want to create a function with get student information, name, age, and course, return name with a name and age with age and course with a course. So in this case, you write down and call this function that to write replace name Ali, replace age 20, replace of course Python. So we store it in a student and print it. So in this case, print from student the name. Output would be Ali. So in this case, we return a dictionary. In a dictionary, we return 3 to 4, 5 in many things. So you can print one of them or all of them. So you can call just name in here. If you call name, comma, age, and comma, course, you can print 3 of them. Using functions inside functions, which is called nested functions, like nested loops. Functions can be used inside other functions for better organization. So in this case, you organize all the things very well. So you define a function, student profile, name, and age. You define another function, greeting, details. If a student comes, so you return a value with a new name and age. You return a value with hello and in formatted string and write his name. So otherwise, in here you give the details, return in his detail his age and what is his age is. So return greeting plus with a new line details. You return to that person his name and age in a new line. If you print a statement, student profile Ahmad in 22. Output would be hello Ahmad, age is 22. Organizing functions into modules, files. If your program has many functions, store them in separate files. So if your program has so many functions, so you can store them in separate files. Example, create a math operations.py. So in this case, you create this Python code, import it, store it in somewhere else with a function name, add and subtract. You store it in somewhere else, and after that, you call that part from math operations, import add. So in this case, you stored this math operation.py in somewhere else in different place, and you call this in another function or in another file by saying from math operations import the add. Result add is 5.3 and print result is 8. So because in here the result is 8, that we wrote in our other function that return a plus b, because we just combined from add, and in this case if we just add here, replace of add the subtract, so we'll get a data of 2. In a conclusion, use def to create functions, use parameters to pass values, use return to get output instead of print. Store data efficiently using lists, dictionaries, and tuples. So in this case, if you look at this, storing data is one of the most important steps in Python functions. So store data efficiently using lists. You can store your data in the lists and in dictionaries and in tuples. Organize functions into separate files for better structure. So you can just organize functions into separate files. Like before we said in here that we separate a function in different files and store it, and then we just import them by saying their name, and after import their function, which function we want. So for beta structure, you can do this. You can use this strategy.